All right, box and whisker plots can at least somewhat be done on your calculators. All right, the calculators we use, it can give you those 5 numbers we use. The minimum, first quartile, median, third quartile, maximum. And those are the most important things for anything you might see on a test or on the EOG. So calculators make this a little bit easy. So first thing we're going to do, obviously, I didn't put it up there, but turn on your calculator. Then you need to follow this order. You push second. It's the yellow button right there. What this is going to do is this is going to reset the calculator. So if anything was messed up on it, it's going to put it back to normal, okay? So second, 0, then 7, then 1, and then 2. And what it should say at the bottom there, RAM cleared, right? All right, so like I said, all that did is that just reset everything, cleared everything out. You know, that sometimes helps when things get messed up in the settings by someone playing around with the calculator. That's the problem with shared calculators. All right, so if I have that data right there, normally we would go ahead, we'd put them in order from least to greatest, we'd find our medians, right? All that. So the way this works, you're going to hit the button that says list. It's right there near the left arrow. I've got it circled with an arrow pointing to it on the board also. Once you have the list button pushed, what you're going to see is a screen that looks at least kind of like that. Yours might be slightly different than the one I found on Google, okay? One thing that is super important about this, if you have your, it's not really a cursor, I don't know what to call it though, but if you are up here where it says L1, do not hit the delete button. If you accidentally delete L1, the easiest way to get that back is to reset it. All right, do that steps we did at the beginning, okay? Try your best not to delete L1, okay? If you are up there on L1 and you hit the clear button, that will clear the list for you. We'll get to that eventually. So underneath L1, what you want to do is you want to list the numbers. So we'd have 95, 46, 82, and you can either hit the down arrow or hit enter after each one. They don't have to be in order from least to greatest. You just enter them in the order they're listed. When you finish, you should see like L1 parentheses 13 because we got 12 numbers listed. It'll be like equals blank. All right, so go ahead, get all 12 of those numbers listed. If once you finish, when you enter them in, you need to enter them in one time, hit enter or down after each number. So again, it should say L1 parentheses 13 once you got them all in. So we got 12 numbers entered in, right? The 12 numbers are still up here for those of you that haven't quite finished entering them in. What you want to do now, and this gets a little confusing, you want to hit the second button first. So hit the yellow button, and then hit list again. So second, and then list. What you get there is a menu across the top. It says LS, OPS, Math, and Calc. Everybody see that? So you're going to click to the right 3 times so you get to the Calc category. Once you're at the Calc category, you want to click Enter on what says 1 var stats. That's 1 variable statistics. And then, once it shows up on your screen, 1 var stats, hit Enter again. And you're going to get a bunch of stuff listed. Some of that stuff's going to look a little weird. So basically what you should have is a list that looks or has that stuff. It won't look like that. I got it formatted differently. Everybody got those, like with those numbers, it looks like? All right, so that X with the line over it. Anybody got a guess what that is? That's your mean. All right, so it figured out the mean for you. Now, realistically, if you have to find the mean, adding them all up and then dividing by how many there are probably goes faster than putting it into the list, or at least about the same. That symbol with the X, that is the sum. All right, so if you added up everything on our list, it would be 885. Okay? The symbol with an exponent, not 6th grade math, don't even worry about that. The S with the X, again, not 6th grade math, we ain't gonna worry about it. That little symbol with the X, again, not 6th grade, don't worry about it. All right, the N. N is the number of items. So that tells you how many things you had on your list. The parentheses after it as you were listing it, that also tells you too, right? We had L1 parentheses 13 at the end. That means we listed 12 things. But that's also a good way you can always double check. If you don't have the same number that was given, that means you missed one. All right, what's min X? Yeah, minimum. What is Q1?
Quartile 1.
Yeah, quartile 1, first quartile, lower median, whatever you want to call it. What's MED? Median. Q3? Third quartile, upper median, again, whatever. And max X is the maximum value. Okay? So see how that gives you everything you would need for a box and whisker problem. Everybody think we got this? Kind of remember how that works? All right, click list. When you click list, this time what we're going to do, go up to L1, so you're at the top part. Again, do not click delete, but press clear. It's underneath the down arrow. So if you're at the very top, you press clear and then hit the down arrow. You should have cleared out your list. It should still say L1 at the top. Yes? If it does not say L1 at the top, that means you screwed up, made a mistake and deleted it, or someone using the calculator before you deleted it. It's a little bit of a headache, but we got to reset the calculators is the easiest way to get that back. Okay? So if you ever see that, the one variable stats won't work correctly without L1 being listed. All right, let's try this one then. Y'all go ahead without me giving you the steps. If you do need help with something, let me know. But let's see if we can do it without my help. The X with the line over it, that's the mean. Zion, what's the mean? Yeah, we'll go 25.6. In a lot of cases, the mean is going to be a decimal that kind of keeps going. So rounding would be okay in most cases. All right, that symbol there, remember that's the sum. Mason, what was the sum? 282 is correct. I don't know why I wrote a 5. 282. At the end, that was the total amount of items. Brian? 11. That's not really helpful for any problem, but it is a helpful way to check to make sure you entered in all your data. All right, our minimum, Jacob. 12's the minimum. First quartile. Jeremiah? 16. Median, Sarah E? No. Lily? 21. Third quartile. Tariah? 34. And the maximum, Robert? 55. All right, any questions on that? If you didn't get one of those numbers, odds are good you either are missing a number, entered a number twice by mistake. If that was the case, this number would be different on your thing, if you were missing one or entered one twice. If that number was 11, that means you probably put in one of the numbers incorrectly, okay? Any questions? Think we got this, or we need to do another one quick? One more? All right. All right, there's some test scores from our Cluster 11 test. I forget which class scores, but those are actual test scores. All right, Ford, what's the mean?
88.
88 is correct. Sarah E., what's the sum? 1,320 is correct. Number of items, Sydney?
15.
15 is correct. Minimum, Gray?
75.
75 is correct. First quartile, Zion? 80 is correct. Median, Tariah? 90 is correct. Third quartile, Mason? 95 is correct. And the maximum, Alexandra? 100 is correct. All right, any questions on those? Y'all see how this is a little helpful, right? Now look, if it asks you for the interquartile range, you can still do this, right? You can still list them all and do it this way. You just got one more step. Who can tell me the interquartile range for this one? Brian? 15 is correct. Interquartile range, remember, is Q3 minus Q1. So in this case, that's 95 minus 80. So that's 15. Okay? So you still got to know what math you're doing or what you're subtracting, but it does probably save most of you time in terms of putting them in order. The calculator automatically does all that for you. All you have to do is just follow through your list and make sure you got everything you're supposed to. All right, so don't bother doing this one, but this shows you kind of how this could work on an EOG. All right, we did this problem yesterday in class, or not yesterday, Monday. If you look, everything had the same minimum, everything had the same maximum. But if you put all those numbers into your list and calculate it, what it's going to do is it's going to give you the minimum, the first quartile, the median, third quartile, maximum. Median was also same on all of them. So really getting it listed and seeing what Q1 and Q3 are would definitely help you. A would have been the correct answer there. But this is kind of how they can show up potentially on a test, on an EOG. Could be a problem like this, where you got to compare those 5 numbers with the box and whisker plots. It could be where it just asks you, hey, what's the third quartile? Or what's the interquartile range, right? Is doing the list going to help you with all box and whisker type problems? No. I mean, like, if it just gave you a box plot and said, hey, what's the median? And there's nothing to put it into the list, right?